again, the National Association of Hebrews is a culturally, social, and professional association founded to improve the lives of the Hebrews in the United States through all lawful purposes, including but not limited to immigration, citizenship, education, professional skills enhancement, business and employment opportunities, cultural refreshment. Now, the membership is restricted to people born to at least one parent of Hebrew descent. Now, when you look at the word Hebrew, many of us are not familiar with the word Hebrew, but we use it because that's the true name that kind of bring some value to our community, bring some dignity, because we will observe and call Kenyan people who dress, with stripes, or Nigeria, the Niger area, or Cameroon, meaning shrimp, or, Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, the coast of Ivory. So these names, even including Africa, which was given by the Romans in 246 BC after defeating the Carthaginian, the city of Carthage, at the end of the, Third Punic War. So we didn't want to go by those names that already create some conflict or some, diminishes, those names diminish our value. We wanted to find out a name that would bring us together. Whether you are a Muslim, a Christian, or a traditional person, that we can work together. So as we came, we put this organization together with the goal of starting a federal credit union. You will see that this is our vision, as you will see, is listed from point A through I. So point A is access to capitals and loan, to put in place a credit union that will preliminarily serve the interests of our members. That's where we are. Before we move on to any other point, we thought it would be important for us to have a financial institution that we control, because you can't open supermarkets without having the money that you need. That means enough funding to open that supermarket. The crazy idea that you have, maybe to launch an airline company, or to start a farm, or to start a dry cleaning business, or to even own real estate or build your own hospital, you need a financial institution that supports that economy. You need a financial institution that supports the economy. So we thought that collectively as a community, if we want to start creating jobs and getting our children off the streets, giving them better opportunities, right? Giving them jobs that will make sure that they don't get involved into crime, it would be better. Now, how do we do that without a bank that can work with us? Because if all these banks in the United States, the most powerful nation on earth, cared about us, we will not be having, our neighborhood infested with crime. They would be investing and we will be having the same opportunities. Now, we can't say it's racism. Banks are there to make profit. So we are not putting a blame on those banks, because those banks are individually owned by communities. In those communities care about their own folks. So it's up to us to use the opportunities that this country, makes available to every other community, to take care of our own. And that's the reason why we are launching this credit union, so we can create these opportunities for our people and support the overall economy of our great nation. Not just the overall economy, but local economies, as we have branches in Dallas, in Houston, in Boston, in Columbus, Ohio. All these places, we create better opportunities. We create jobs. And when we create jobs, the jobs are not just for the Hebrews, because when it's a job, we will hire any person who is qualified to do the job. But at least the credit union will be owned by us, by the members of our community, right? The member of this organization that we have put together. Now, how do you join the credit union? Again, we said that's the website, proposehfcu.com. If you want to contact us, you come to contact us and send us your questions. We'll make sure that we address them. So I will now take a dive to present the credit union. So the National Association of Hebrews, as I presented, We, made up of people of, that are physically identified as African American, Africans, Afro Latinos, and Afro Caribbeans, decided to come together to put this credit union into place. Why did we choose credit union compared to banks? We choose credit union because credit unions offer the lowest interest rate compared to banks. Banks are aggressive. They are there to charge higher interest rate to make more money quick. Now, with a credit union incorporated as a non-profit organization, we should be able to support our economy, to support our people, and keep more money into the community by giving the lowest interest rate possible. Now, it's not something that we are inventing. If you go to mycreditunion.gov, you will see this information, all right? So credit unions are not-for-profit cooperative organizations that exist to serve their members. Now, there's an information that you will see here. How is a credit union different than the bank? Credit unions are not-for-profit organizations that exist, and then you will see all these information here. All right, you can go online, you will see that these information are easily accessible. Now, the members of our various communities, as I pointed out, be it people who are physically referred to as African, African American, Afro Latinos, or Afro Caribbeans, we have decided to come together because by operating in silos, we really don't achieve a lot. We are not powerful, we are weak, and it has not been successful because we don't really have anything to show, right? Coast to coast, we don't own hospitals, we don't own universities, we don't own, major infrastructure or construction companies. We don't own, airline companies, just like other communities are doing. So that means there's something that we are not doing at this time that would have made this country even greater than it is, right? So we want to build on what others started, such as Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we can keep the dollar in our community. Because currently, according to statistics, which you can go online and find that the dollar stays less than 1 hour in the quote unquote Black community. How do we change that? When you have a bank, you have your salary. You want to buy food. If you shop in the Black supermarket, you keep the dollar in the community. If you want to do dry cleaning, you keep the money in the community. So when we synchronize all our businesses, we keep the dollar in the community longer. That's the purpose of this credit union. All right. Now you will see membership fees here is only for those who want to be voting members, because completing the survey is completely free. Completely free. There are two types of membership in every credit union, whether they tell you officially or not. The first type of membership is members, customers. If you receive in your account dividends such as 53 cents, 40 cents, or maybe $1 or $3, you are a member customer. You are not a voting member. You are not a member owner of the credit union. Because credit union, they may not be aggressive in profit making, but they do make profit. And there's a board of directors. Those people are the board of directors are the people who sacrificed their time and put in sweat equity and did everything they could to launch the credit union. And then when we join those credit unions today, we are only members customer. All right. We are also members, but members customer, because we didn't pay an entrance fee. We were not part of those who sponsor the credit union. Okay. But nonetheless, in our community, we are making the opportunity available to everyone. You don't have to become a voting member. It is your choice. And we will, as we go progress through the survey, the presentation, we will get to know the benefits of being a voting member or a board member. All right. So what's the focus? The focus of the credit union is the well-being of our members. As we said it earlier, credit unions operate to promote the well-being of their members. Profits, read it here. Again, these information come from mycreditunion.gov. Profits made by credit unions are returned back to members in the form of reduced fees, higher savings rate, lower loans, dividends. All right. So we choose how we share the profit to the voting members, to the members of the credit union. Now, membership. Members of a credit union share a common bond. That means you have to belong to a group. You have to have a same common bond to be part of any credit union. It could be the same employer, because a couple of people were saying we have to, bring more information. The PowerPoint is here. You can go online. So to explain, because someone say, hey, are you only serving the Black people? Are you only serving the Hebrews? Are you that? We didn't create the options. All right. You have to establish a common bond. It could be the employer. So if you don't work for that company, they can never allow you to open a credit union account with them. It's not like they are discriminating with you. It's just that they have to go by the rules of the NCUA. There are rules when you are, operating a credit union. It could be a family. Did you know that a family can start their own credit union? So if you have enough money and enough, everything, time to organize, you with your family can go and launch your own credit union. It's completely free. The information, is free to access this information. It could be just a group of people who live in in a neighborhood, right? You can see it here. Or it could be membership in a group. Our credit union is membership in a group. That's why we have an entrance fee. Now, the entrance fee may not reflect the income level of our community. The reason being, if we could have decided to put an entrance fee $1. Now, the credit union administration says to start and support operating costs and everything, we need a minimum of $700,000. But based on the market, today's market, recently they updated it to $1 million. That you need to have at least $1 million to support the operating costs, including hiring a minimum of 3 people: a branch manager, a customer service manager, a banker, or a teller, right? So we set it up at 1,000 so we can quickly get the credit union up and running. Because at $10, obviously, many people will put $10, but it will take us longer, and our community is suffering because we are targeted by all other aggressive financial institutions, whose name I cannot mention. They are aggressive. They are opening branches in our neighborhood, and they are charging us interest rate 20%, 30%. Now, how do we wait an extra 1 year to launch a credit union when we can have a few group of people? We don't need everybody. The limit is only 700 people. Today, as I speak to you, we have 1,020. We have more than 1,000 people. I think 1,028 people who have taken it upon themselves to put in $1,000 to become voting members. And as we saw earlier, it's not just to vote, but it's also to occupy a position when the credit union starts and to earn dividends, right? I believe, personally, I've never seen the owner of any bank, whether one of the owners of Bank of America or one of the owner of Wells Fargo or any other bank, staying in line to take a loan. No, they own that. That means they decide how our money is invested. So they can invest in real estate, they can invest in restaurant or in other businesses that will generate more money. So as a voting member in our credit union, we decide what interest rate we charge to our members. We decide what we invest in to bring in more, to make more profit. So we, voting members, decide over what the credit union will do or what the credit union will become. It is our choice. All right. Community involvement. Now, as we said earlier, it's not just about the credit union. It's getting to know the businesses that we have. Maybe you have a restaurant, another person has a supermarket, another person has a dry cleaning business, and so on and so forth. So you see how we connect with each other, because it is only by working together hand in hand that we can keep the dollar in the community longer. Currently, when you receive your paycheck, you buy food from other stores, other community stores. the dollar gets out of the community. When you want to, shop for shoes or clothes, the dollar gets out of the community. When you want to, do some hair, or especially for our women, right? The money gets out of the community. But if this person here own a hair braiding salon, this person here own a restaurant, this other person own a hospital, a university, an airline company, a marketing business, a tax company, a law firm, the money will stay in the community longer. And when it stays in the community longer, then you see our children here, we will create a better future for them. Everybody will live better. This is how we will end crime in our community. And then the credit union will provide financial education and outreach to consumers, to all our members. Okay? So this PowerPoint is available online. Even today's presentation is being recorded. We'll do our best to put it again online on YouTube. So you can go back and take the time to review all this information. You can again see that this information comes from mycreditunion.gov. We put our website here for you to go and just complete the free survey. Okay. Now, at the time when this presentation was completed, these are the states where we had members. But today, we have members in more states. All right. And the reason why we are collecting surveys today is to complete a market analysis. We want to know where our people live. It's like you want to build a school. How do you go and build a school in an area where you don't have children? If you go to a senior, a citizen location and build a school that's pre-K to 12, and you didn't study to know whether you have children of that age in that area, you just wasted money. Now, as bankers, we want to earn your trust even before the credit union starts. So we want to know where you are. We want to get information about your city. It's not much more about your address, your physical address. It's more about your zip code and your city. And we do understand that some people had some concern about, including their addresses. We can tell you we don't sell those information, and we do not disclose your information to anyone else. Even if it is a wife or a husband, we don't just disclose those information to your spouse. So those information are yours, and we keep them very safe. We do not disclose them. We make sure that we protect your identity. Okay, so please do us a favor, just go online at this website here, complete a free market analysis survey. Just tell us where you are, as we plan to open a branch or place an ATM machine right next to you. Okay. Now, when you go online to propose HFCU, you will see this same form right here. These questions here, we didn't create the questions. The questions come from the NCUA. We only, formatted it to make it fit. We would have loved to just eliminate some questions, but it's not our choice. We have to go by whatever the credit union, the credit union administration recommends. All right. So these are the information that we collect because we want to know if you will be opening a saving account with us. We will be opening a checking account. We will be opening a share certificate account. The share certificate account is completely different from the entrance fee, right? The entrance fee is for NAHEB, the organization that is opening the credit union for you to become a voting member and be an owner of the business, to be part of the village. Okay, but the share certificate, when the credit union starts, it will be in your account. And then the share certificate is just like a fixed deposit that earns interest. So you can put more money in that account when the credit union starts to earn more interest. That's totally up to you. Many of us already have a car loan. We want to refinance our cars, right? We want to, maybe get a home equity loan or buy a new house. We would like to know, wouldn't it be cool for you to refinance your car? Maybe you are paying, 5%. You come to our credit union. we can refinance that same car at 3%, right? And our strategy is not to turn you down. It's not to tell you you are not approved, because we do understand, for those who are in the field of, you know, psychology and every other thing that has to do with social behavior, telling someone no has a psychological effect. So our goal is not to tell you no, you do not qualify for a loan. Our goal is to tell you that, hey, if you meet some of these criteria, right, just go home and do this or do that. We will even bring some of our counselor to review your income. As long as you have a job, the determination of the loan will not only be based on your credit score, because we do understand that you can have an 840, 830 credit score. If you don't have a job, how will you pay that loan? But you can still have a 500 credit score and have a job that you have sustained and you have been paying the loans, right? And we see that you are consistent. Then we can give you the loan that you deserve for your car or even for your house. The goal is not the credit score. The goal is your ability to repay the loan. Okay? All right, so that's it. Now, this part here, I do understand that some people, you know, some of our members on the call today are not in front of a computer, so they may not see these projections. Now, imagine that throughout the United States, we have about 5 million Black folks who are already working and putting their money in other banks. Collectively, we don't have access to that money, because we cannot go and ask them a loan of $10 billion to do land development in New York City somewhere, or in down South Chicago, or, you know, anywhere where, you know, we say the hood. Those banks cannot give us $10 billion to do land development. I mean, as far as I know, I've not seen that, because if that was the case, we would not be having this, you know, amount of crime in our neighborhood. But now imagine that all our money gets deposited in our own bank, and we don't even need up to 5 million members of the community. We only need just 1 million people working $10 an hour, 40 hours a week. Each of them will make $400 a week. That means 1 million people throughout the United States will deposit $400 million in our credit union a week. Over a course of 52 weeks, we'll be transiting $20.8 billion will be transiting in our credit union. With this amount of money, we can complete any land development that we want in our community. I'm seeing some questions coming. We'll have the time to, you know, answer those questions as soon as I complete the presentation. So you can see here how much money will be coming into our credit union, and each person's deposit will be insured up to $250,000. So no matter what happens to our credit union, whether people come and rob or whatever, which we pray God forbid it will not happen, but our funds will be insured, because our credit union will be under the same umbrella, the NCUA, like other federal credit union. Okay? This part talks about the voting members. Remember, I was talking earlier, I said the voting member, I will come to that. If you choose to become a voting member, that means you choose to take the risk like us. You choose to sponsor the credit union by becoming a member of the main organization. The credit union calls that organization the sponsor. You become a member of NAHEB, which is the sponsor, the organization that owns the credit union. All right, this is a breakdown. Once you choose to become a voting member, which is optional, then you will receive an invoice automatically of $1,000. It is not sent by someone. Okay, so I heard someone who is not familiar with technology said that she submitted the survey, and the team just sent her a survey. She thought it was rude to just send her an invoice. So it was a little bit funny to explain to her that no, it's not like, we log into the system and just send it to you. Once you click submit, it sends you the invoice if you chose to be a voting member. Now, if you, let's assume that you complete the survey today and you choose to be a voting member and pledge that non-refundable $1,000, which is, we are closing by March 31st. Let's assume that by March 31st, you didn't pay anything. None of us will come after you to say pay the 1,000. No, it is your choice. But if you do not complete your survey by March 31st, you cannot come. Even if you come and pay 10,000, we will not accept it because the credit union administration will not allow us to do that. Every single person, those who are voting members, would pay the same amount. Nobody would pay more than 1,000. Nobody would pay less than 1,000. The reason being, if someone was going to pay more than 1,000, then they would want to silence others. They would just want to ask people to shut up so they can talk more because they have more money. But as far as entrance fees are concerned, the NCUA says it's one type of entrance fee for all the members, except at a given year, we decide to change it. But for now, we are closing by March 31st. That means your survey needs to be in the system by March 31st. Now, some of our members who were not keeping up with our meetings still believe that we are launching by March 31st. We are not launching anymore by March 31st. We had planned that we were closing everything by December 31st and submitting the full application to the NCUA. But you, our members, had said that you would like to join us, be sponsor of this credit union, and that the timing was too short because we started this survey October 28, 2019. So it was too short for you guys. And then our members, because we are here to serve you, you asked for an extension, and we thought it reasonable not to close December, hoping to launch by March, but to move the closing date to March, right? So we will close everything, send the list and every other requested document by the NCUA to the NCUA, and wait to hear from them, because at that time they will have received everything from us. They will be working to give us the charter. When we receive the charter, we will then use the information you provided on the survey to send you an email saying, hey, this is where we are located, this is where we are live, all right? And we have to use proposed in front of our credit union because it's mandatory. That's the law of the NCUA until they give us the charter. All right. So moving to the next. At this point here, we start showing the value we bring to the community. We start showing how we can refinance cars. Remember the financial literacy? We can give jobs. We will be giving jobs to our young folks. And when they come to the bank, to the credit union and say, hey, I want to buy a $30,000 car, based on their incomes, based on how much money they make and other bills. We cannot just, run their credit and say, hey, you are disqualified. You are not qualified to have a $30,000 loan. No, we will call our financial folks. They will review their account, review their payments, their expenses, and say, rather than applying for a $30,000 car loan that, meanwhile you only make this type of income, why don't you apply for a loan of $5,000? It's easier for us, despite your credit score, to approve a $5,000 loan for your car, because the job you work, let's say $10 an hour, you can easily pay the car loan. We are not there to set a trap for you to fail so we can repossess the car and resell and keep making money. That's not our goal. That's not the goal of the credit union. Our focus is to serve our community. So we will not just give you loans, predatory loan, for you to fail, but we will educate you and coordinate with you and say, hey, you may be disqualified, you may not be approved a $30,000 loan, but if you will change your choice and move from a Cadillac or a Bentley that will cost $50,000, why can't you just take a different car that will cost only $5,000? So that's the value we'll be bringing to the community: education, financial literacy. as well as making sure that those who come to our credit union receive the loan they deserve at the lowest interest rate. Now, when you pay your membership, those who are voting members, look at it down here. These represent the revenue we'll be making from the cars we'll be selling or financing in 5 years, just at 3%. And then we'll be making revenues of $78.2 million revenue. With this revenue, even if we had 200,000 members, voting members, or 1 million voting members, you will not see 53 cents in your account, but you will see at least $5. That's for voting members. Now, if we move forward to finance houses, as we can see, to the same people who could get a car, then we make even more money. There's more revenue coming to the credit union. Even though it's non-profit, the credit union itself says credit union makes profit. You can see that credit unions operate to promote this, but profits made. So that means we make profit. Guys, credit union make profit. So when I'm getting back to the other slide. So by refinancing cars or just this amount, $100,000 car loan to buy a house, you see that we will just go to our own neighborhood where there is crime, where nobody wants to invest, where nobody wants to build. We will come and buy those properties, rebuild them, and resell them the cheapest possible. Imagine selling those same houses at $100,000, low income housing. Then our children who only work $10 an hour can afford those houses. How much would they be paying a month? About $700. And then how much would they be paying on a month from the car? About $100 from the car. So they will be making, our children will be making $10 an hour, $1,600 a month on average. They will only spend about $100 for the car, $50 maybe for the car insurance, $700 for the car loan, for the home loan, maybe with insurance. So out of $1,600, they will spend about $900 and they will be left with $700. They can use that $700 to invest in stocks, to buy flowers for mommy, to buy a tie or socks for daddy. We bring more value to the community as a credit union. And not only we bring the value, but on the other side, those who have taken the risk of being a sponsor of this credit union, that means sponsor means, that's the term of the National Credit Union Administration. In the private term, it would be like a shareholder. Now, not to be confused with share secured account. It simply means member owner, not member customer. All right. This is where when you make this amount of money, about 2.3 or $2.4 billion, you know, cover all the expenses, then you pay the 50 cents, 53 cents to all members, customers. At the end, even if you are extravagant in your expenses, you will have at least $1 billion left that you can invest in other things. And that $1 billion, how much capital do we need to start? Just about $600,000. That means $600,000 will be only 600 people. And if 600 people can fund the businesses if 600 people can fund the businesses of 1 million people, you see that they will be making nearly $1 billion left. How much money will each voting member be making as dividends? Folks, this is our opportunity. You don't have to become a voting member because, you know, come rain, come sun, as soon as we receive the charter, we will be in business to bring value to the community. Now, sources of revenue to the credit union are not limited to interest of course, interest revenue represents 73%. At least it represented 73% of total revenue in the first quarter of 2017, right? But you have other non-interest income such as minimum balance, stop payment, ATM, wire transfer, that will keep generating more money to the community. Okay, folks. So again, it's free to join. Just complete the survey go to proposehfcu.com, complete the survey. If you cannot see my screen, or if you cannot access the presentation at this time, you can send a text to 202-854-1820 to ask your question, or you can go online to contact us. At this time, I would like to pause. Again, that's the website. Here is the website, proposehfcu.com. You go to proposehfcu.com. You become a member. It's a free survey. Okay, guys? If you go to YouTube, you should be able to access this presentation as well. Just search for Hebrews Federal Credit Union, and then you will see all this information. Lamar, I would like to, open it for questions.